Ninja.
For the first time ever.
Formerly the world's most famous popular streamer in the world / Mixer's superstar, has announced that he's discovered the concept of multi-streaming.
And he's the first one to do it.
This revolutionary, changing the game concept called multi-streaming.
No one's ever done it. You people on Twitch and YouTube, it's never happened before.
Nope.
All the people on Trovo, you don't exist.
Nope. No one's ever multi-streamed before. I don't know why he's off center on this couch in front of a plain wall. I don't understand anything about the video itself.
It might be really comfy in that spot. Who knows?
Everything about this is just so
These are the questions that you can figure out by getting the Ninja Masterclass.
So, the issue isn't this, other than, as you may have seen my threads on Twitter of my hot takes of just like everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people are acting like this is some big thing that's going to make multi-streaming like huge, when virtually every small streamer has to multi-stream to find an audience or has to post on. I think what gets me more is not necessarily every smaller streamer multi-streams, but every smaller streamer posts to multiple channels. And what happens here with a lot of these big streamers, because Pokimane just did a similar thing, Doc just did a similar thing. I'm doing YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo at the same time too, right? Is a lot of them haven't even been posting content to those other platforms, and they're acting like they have to like stop, take a break, do this big announcement instead of just posting videos, when everyone else has to do this to grow. So to act like it's this big shift is weird to me. And also, again, I made my first restream tutorial probably a year after it came out, but I made the tutorial in 2016. It's been a thing the whole time. And this isn't even like, oh, Twitch has updated their partnership. No, he just got rid of his partnership to do it because he's filthy rich. He doesn't need a Twitch partnership, and whatever other ways he has to monetize can be made back way better by just having more viewers. Like that has been my argument for about 4 years now, ever since I started multi-streaming, is that for most streamers who aren't completely entrenched in Twitch where they're entirely dependent on it, at which point that is a very dangerous position to be in, and I'd recommend branching out anyway. For every streamer who has some diversification of audience or isn't just fully dependent on the Twitch revenue, you're gonna make more money in the long run by having more viewers. If you have dedicated sponsors, having more impressions on those ads and possibly getting more conversions on the ads you run in your stream, be it the little lower thirds for your merch or whatever, affiliate links, or actual in-video commercials, as I usually do during streamer news and some of these shows. Getting more viewers is worth more than whatever pennies on the dollar ad revenue Twitch would pay you. Services like Patreon and OnlyFans and even YouTube channel memberships sometimes take less cuts than Twitch subs. You don't have to split tips 50-50 if you just use direct tips anyway. Like, if you're in the position not to be locked into a Twitch partnership, you're really kind of going to be a lot more free. And it didn't make sense to me when Ninja and Shroud both left Mixer, and then when Doc got banned from Twitch, for them to just go crawling back to a basic partnership on one of the other platforms. Like, for Ninja to go from $30 million Mixer exclusivity contract to basic Twitch contract, because as far as we know, he was never given more money like his Mixer one or anything. That's a serious downgrade and locking down your business after the fact.
I suppose. I mean, he still got paid, so there's that. But
well, yeah,
like,
by Mixer, but that's what I'm saying, is he had
right.
the $30-40 million from Mixer. He could have just immediately been like, all right, Mixer's dead. The way he's doing it now, I'm everywhere. And just raked it in on all platforms while he was still at a kind of high peak, rather than just kind of fizzling out and doing a basic Twitch thing and everyone's just like, oh, okay. And the same thing with Doc. When he had all that momentum after coming back from getting banned on Twitch, instead of just doing YouTube, he could have been like, I got kicked off of Twitch, but now I'm everywhere else. And, like, also raked it in. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It seems like they don't, well, at least maybe that'll change. Maybe this will change in the in the near future now with Ninja doing it. But it seems like they looked at all these different verticals and they just used it. They just saw it as like a disposable place to put their content. Like, I'm just going to put it here, whatever it does, whatever. I only care about this one because this is the real one. But that seems to be the way they treated it. When really, you know, any one of them could blow up.
Right.
Maybe they all blow up. That'd be cool.
And every platform, like, it also kind of sets you up as a free agent for, like, some platform to start offering you big money if it seems like you're driving people there. And it would be kind of awkward to be, like, everywhere and then back to one. But, like, as long as you timed it right, that'd be a good bait to get a lot more money. Or to promote one more over the other. Or however that would go. And it's weird to me. I don't understand the, like, financial economics of big streamers. Because they make filthy amounts of money, like more money than I could ever imagine in my life, and they spend most of their time streaming all day every day, so it's not like they're overspending it with some extravagant lifestyle when we pretty much see them sweaty in a chair 24/7.
Most streamers don't know how to engage with one community, let alone several across multiple platforms, and that is very true. Those people should continue streaming to just one platform, I think, until they can figure that out, until they can learn to engage with everybody. I think that, you know, focusing on one is probably fine, but, you know, if you have aspirations to grow, adding more can't hurt.
Yes, if you're growing and can't figure out how to juggle it, that's a problem. I have someone right here helping me juggle it. But for those bigger channels, they're not like you don't.
That's
watch
not a problem for them.
You don't watch a Ninja or Doc stream, and unless you're giving them money, I actually expect them to say something to you personally. Like,
I mean, I watch enough Shroud where he has his chat on screen. Like, because he'll sit on with his chat on screen for, you know, 30, 40 minutes at a time, just talking to the stream. And like, you can see it's just flying by. He can engage with it, but he's just picking out like odds and ends here. You know, once you get to that point, that is the best case scenario that you can hope for, is that they just pick something out. But if you're just throwing like some random comment in there, like, you're probably not going to get seen. It's not trying to dissuade you from talking to them, because maybe you would, but it's just kind of how it is.
But that's
the
why
other
you
thing,
bring on people before we get to the second question. Like, that's why you bring on people. Like, when you're I don't understand how you, especially with Ninja's old stream room that the Red Bull people made, where he had the freaking Ursas and like multiple sets that he never used. I don't understand how you get to that point and you don't have help, because
need a producer.
Yeah, a producer, someone to switch scenes for, like, whatever. And it seems like they just, like, especially with the clip that was going around, which I'm not going to play on here, but of Ninja just not realizing that you could stream to other websites with OBS and things like that, like, that people are memeing on. Like, the fact that so many big streamers effectively stopped learning, like, years ago once they didn't need to anymore is kind of sad, because it's costing them career opportunities, potentially, or either just making them late to them. And also, like, all they had to do was bring on someone to keep up with it for them, or like juggle it for them. Like, if you can just have someone picking out chat messages that you respond to, like they do during WAN show or something. I don't know. I don't understand why there's solo operations that just seem late to everything, instead of using that money to expand your empire.
I mean, yeah, you're making money hand over fist as a solo act, and you get it in your head that you can just continue to be a solo act. But if you ever decide to take it to that next level, that's hiring staff. You know, you can up your production simply by having another person in the room to bounce stuff off of, or just simply run the scenes, something like that.
Basic,
make it a little more
business.
snappy.
That's like basic, just growing a company. Like, what do you need $12 million a month for? What was the second
Good question? The other one is so Uncle Ninja is back on streaming. He never went away. That was a
oh my god.
That was a promotional thing. So I don't want to set you off on a rant, but that was very clearly.
I'll try to provide this as neutral as possible. The part I left out of this whole thing was that 6 days prior to this announcement, Ninja supposedly rage quit off of his stream, saying that he was going to take a break, and made this whole scene about needing a mental health thing. But it was about as transparently a marketing thing as possible. First of all, it was like very poorly acted. Like, it was like, oh yeah, I got to do this now. All right, man. And then like in every wording about him not streaming anymore, he had to include, or where. Even like if you're in the middle of a rage quit and a nervous breakdown, you're like, yeah, man, I'm not going to stream anymore. If I do, it might not be here. Wink, wink. Like, no. Yeah. And then immediately, all of his profiles changed to some MySpace just went through a breakup teenage thing of his profile picture's gone, and he's like, user not found, I'm so lonely. And then was very clearly teasing that he was going to YouTube or something else and all of this.
It was in very bad taste. Like, it was framed like a mental breakdown.
Which,
with the amount of people that actually go through this every day, like streaming burnout is a thing that every single creator that I have ever seen, that I've ever enjoyed watching, every single one of them, they've all experienced some degree of burnout. It's not something to mess around with. It's not something to make fun of or use as a promotional tool. It's just, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's just like there are ways to make light of it, but you don't just pretend to go through it to promote your relaunch.
Yeah.
And I guess he didn't have anything big to like relaunch with, like Doc getting banned, so he just like kicked himself off. I don't like.
It's the funny thing is just, dude, he is the biggest streamer in the world, bar none. Let's just
you don't need
clear. Yeah. You don't need a gimmick. You just say, I'm not streaming on Twitch exclusively anymore. Yeah. You can find me everywhere, and the same articles would show up without the stuff we're talking about.
Here's how he could have done it. If he wanted, like, perhaps in his head, he wanted to make some sort of, like, statement about burnout or something. First of all, before I get to the good side, if you go through a massive, like, rage quit moment in a stream and you are completely burned out and you need a break, you don't come back 6 days later scaling your output even more. You're not like, man, I'm overworked and bored and tired of this and burned out. Let me just do 7 times the number of, streaming locations and chats to keep up with and tech to juggle. No.
Let me go further beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. But all he could have done, like, some sort of statement about, like, hey, just streaming to one platform is really intense and, like, it causes burnout in plenty of streamers. And I think the move, the next paradigm shift, whatever, is going to be multi-streaming, so you can scale down the amount of time you're streaming and the amount of frustration that you have, but you still reach more people. Like, there was a way to do it and still make that statement or that reference or whatever, and not just be like, I'm breaking down, I gotta quit, but follow me on my other platform. Yeah, I don't want to harp on it too much because I already ranted about it on Twitter, but it's just
mental health is serious, folks. Don't use it as a promotional tool. That's the summary.